Of course, we're a ruling party at the national, and as expected, we're going to work very hard. It's not going to be a walk on the park. It's going to be a very serious work. Our country is very divided now because of the level of insecurity, the activities of bandits and terrorists who have been going around maiming and killing, sacking communities. It's the security situation is as bad as the way it is, and it tends to give that anxiety within the Christian community in our country, because it is seen that most of those who perpetrate these acts of banditry are seen as people who are of the Muslim Islamic religion, or be that as it may. I think that those who have anxiety, they may also have their reasons for having it. Those who feel that Nigeria should move beyond the issues of religion, they also have a very strong point. And I am also of that opinion that we need to move out from the issues of religion in leadership. I give you an example. I'm a member of the Ninth Assembly, and we have a speaker that is a Muslim and a deputy speaker that is a Muslim. But I can tell you, because of the quality of leadership these two presiding officers have exhibited, there is no, we have not gotten a reason to think that the Christian members in the Ninth Assembly are being undermined. That's to tell you that it's an example of what leadership can do, good leadership can do. And it erodes, it takes off that fear of some thinking that a particular religion wants to dominate the other religion. I'm of also that school of thought that we should dwell on the leadership that will be given the challenges we are faced with. It's not the first time. Historically, there have been cases in the past when we had Awolowo as the presidential aspirant, this presidential candidate of UPN. He had a Christian running mate. The very significant June 12 elections that had Abiola and Babagana Kingibe was also a Muslim. I think just even in recent history, Osun State supposedly has more Muslim population than the Christians. But here we are. We're Christian. The governorship candidate of the PDP is a Christian. The running mate is a Christian. And Muslims voted for a Christian because they wanted a change. So we Nigerians need to move beyond religion, because if you go to the market to purchase anything, you don't ask whether the person selling is a Muslim or a Christian. If you walk into a market and you want to buy a tomato or pepper or whatever, you don't ask the person selling if the person is wearing Gbaja or is wearing the Niger Delta bowler hat. We are Nigerians, and I think that this ticket will also strengthen the unity of Nigeria on religious grounds. Again, don't forget the presidential candidate of the APC. If religion has been a challenge to him, his wife is a pastor, and not just a pastor. She's a pastor in the north. You would say a conservative Christian church like Redeem. So if the man at the helm of affairs, some of his children are Christians, some of his children are Muslim, and they are living very well. I also don't have an history when Kashim Shettima was governor of Borno State that Christians were being persecuted in the north by the instrumentality of government. Rather, historically, it is evident that while he was governor, he used his position as governor to protect Christians. I understand when churches were even burned by the so-called Boko Haram, he went a step further by reconstructing some of these church buildings that were supposedly destroyed by the ones who call us infidel, whereas they are the ones that are perpetrating violence using religion as a basis. Again, we are all living witnesses to the fact that some of these so-called terrorists, when they are arrested, some of them can't even recite the Quran. So how do you relate a man, a terrorist, who cannot even recite the Quran, and you say he's a Muslim because he's fighting a phantom ideological war, supposedly being seen as a trend to Islamize Nigeria? I don't think that Islamizing the country is not is an easy thing the way we are looking at it. If you tell a Christian today that you want to Islamize, how do somebody from the desert go to my community in the river and say, for henceforth, you will not be going to church, you have to be nodding your head on the ground? How does that? Are you going to continuously stand there and be pointing a gun at me to ensure that perpetually I should be? I don't. For me, I do not see it as something that is possible. I also don't see it as an agenda of people in government, as much as there could be some sympathizers of some of those who feel some sponsors of the terrorism, they know what they are benefiting. I also don't forget the insecurity we have in this country has some international dimensions. We must understand it from that perspective. We shouldn't look at it from the point that the insecurity challenge we have in this country is something that is born out of some people in the north trying to achieve an objective. Don't forget, Nigeria has the highest black population in the whole of Africa. Nigeria has one of the most intelligent persons in the black race. Allowing Nigeria economy to grow, allowing Nigeria economy to blossom to the level and giving us political stability will mean that this country will at some point begin to compete with the Western world. So there are also the extended hands that feels that this country must be kept perpetually unstable so that we remain a third world country. Otherwise, you can't have the ISWAP people focusing on Nigeria, building camps for terrorism, encouraging banditry. We have seen on the social media how helicopters shuttle firearms into some forests, and these men are armed. And you want to say these persons are people who feel that Nigeria should not grow, and these persons are Nigerians alone? No, it's not just Nigerians alone. From the fall of Gaddafi, we've always had, within the sub-Saharan African region, there have been the proliferation of light and small arms. And countries like Nigeria that has a dense population and also a very striking religious differences and tribal, plenty of ethnic groups, this is a breeding ground to encourage terrorism. And that's what we are seeing. Unfortunately, our security forces are overstretched because the numbers are also not enough. We in Parliament believe that the number of soldiers, the number of military personnel we have are not enough, because you have a country of over 200 million people. What is our military? What about the police? What's the number that we have? How many police is to one Nigerian? We don't have that kind of security. Don't forget that our economy is also not growing in tandem with population growth. If you have a population that is growing astronomically, and your economy is at a very slow pace, even looking at the global economic growth downturn, you will see that necessarily there will be security challenges. Our universities are graduating young people. When they come out of school, jobs are not available for them to be employed, to be gainfully employed. So, what will this teeming mass of unemployed youths be involved in? We all know that they said an idle mind is a criminal, is the devil's workshop, and the likely area such unemployed youths are tilting to is to look for extraneous means to make a living, and that's what we are seeing in everywhere. You have armed robbery cases increasing. We have cases of rape, cases of domestic violence, because the average Nigerian today is stretched psychologically, because even the one who has a job, your remuneration is not within the limits of what can carry the responsibilities around even your immediate family. So basically, I would say that the Muslim ticket shouldn't agitate Nigerians. We have a very good electoral act that has